From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White. U.S. President Donald Trump doubled down on his threats to annex Canada during a meeting with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte. The U.S. president claimed Canada only works as a U.S. state and, quote, "We have to do this."
We don't need their energy. We don't need their lumber. We don't need anything that they give. We do it because we want to be helpful, but it comes a point when you just can't do that.
Trump says he'll hold firm on his tariffs and that he's not concerned about the economic fallout. U.S. President Trump's choice for United States ambassador says Canada is a sovereign state. Former Michigan Congressman Pete Hoekstra contradicted his soon-to-be boss when asked about Trump's annexation threats during a Senate confirmation hearing.
Canada is a sovereign state, yes. How the president and the relationship between the former prime minister and Canada, the characteristics and nature of that relationship, I don't know.
Hoekstra is set to become America's top diplomat in Ottawa at a fraught time for the relationship between the two countries. Canadians are buying a lot fewer American products at the grocery store, and the owner of stores like Sobeys, Freshco, and Safeway is taking notice. As Canadian Press business reporter Rosa Saba explains, Empire's CEO doesn't see his sector hugely affected by tariffs. At least not directly.
What he said was the biggest concern for the grocers, for the industry, for the retail industry, is what happens if tariffs are in place for a longer period of time and we see a downturn in the Canadian economy, people pull back on their spending. That's the bigger worry for the grocers, not tariffs across the board on everything at the grocery store.
CEO Michael Medline says Empire is working with suppliers to prevent costs being passed on to consumers, and he says some are proactively looking for solutions, like shifting production away from the United States. Global Affairs Canada says it can't intervene on behalf of a Canadian being held in an Arizona immigration detention center. Alexis Eagles says her 35-year-old daughter is being held in inhumane conditions. She says her daughter had been working in the U.S. but was detained at the Mexican border crossing near San Diego after her visa was denied. Health Minister Mark Holland says he will not run in the coming federal election. Prime Minister-designate Mark Carney and his new cabinet will be sworn in tomorrow. An election call is widely expected soon afterward.
I cried a tear.
East Coast music legend Anne Murray's impact on music will be celebrated at this year's Junos with a Lifetime Achievement Award. Organizers say Murray will be the first artist to get the top honor since its creation in 1989. The 79-year-old holds the most Junos of any performer with 25 career wins. The Junos will air March 30th on CBC from Vancouver. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, both Ontario NHL teams are on home ice this evening. The Ottawa Senators take on Boston, while the Toronto Maple Leafs play Florida. The first-place Panthers are 2 points up on Toronto in the Atlantic Division standings. Also tonight in the NHL, the Edmonton Oilers visit New Jersey. Rachel Homan will skip the Canadian team at the World Women's Curling Championship starting Saturday in South Korea. She says the team will build off its previous World Championship experience.
I think we have the exact same draw as last year. So, we're prepared for back-to-back draws.
Homan's team holds the top position in the world rankings. Spring training action today saw Dalton Varsho hit a 2-run homer, powering the Toronto Blue Jays to a 6-4 win over the Baltimore Orioles in Dunedin, Florida. And the Tampa Bay Rays are pulling out of a $1.3 billion project to build a new ballpark beside Tropicana Field. From the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.